What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I kind of wanted to make some sort of guideline on which iPhone you should buy or the best iPhone you should buy in 2020 going throughout the whole entire 2020. Now I'm going to break this down for price points. There's really no best way to go about it because I don't think there's one specific iPhone to buy. Obviously if you have unlimited money, go get the newest iPhone, get the iPhone 11. It's a very good phone. The iPhone 11 Pro or iPhone 11 Pro Max, those are tremendous phones. So if you have all the money in the world, you might as well get the most expensive iPhones you can afford. But for the price points from like $100 to $400, I'm going to tell you which iPhone I would probably consider for those specific price points. I'm going to consider depreciation as well because this is January 2nd. By the time June comes around or September, most probably those are going to change. So I might make an updated video of this as well. But for that $100 price tag, as of right now, I think the iPhone 6s is probably the best iPhone you could buy for $100. So you're getting all that software support up until June probably, but maybe it'll get iOS 14, who knows. But the iPhone 6s is one of those phones that I would still consider buying even after its software life cycle, because potentially Apple could be switching over to their new software release cycle. Will they'll end the OS support, full OS support, like it's not going to get iOS 14, but it will still get security updates in the form of like iOS 13.2 point something or iOS 13.4 point something. Whenever the last version of iOS 13 is in June, most probably it'll still get software updates, which is really cool. Also, it's easy to repair. There's really nothing too crazy with it. You can easily fix really anything that's wrong with the phone. Also, the performance is still really good for a phone that came out in 2015 with 2 gigabytes of RAM. It's a very decent phone, and it really just came right behind my iPhone 11 in every speed test I did, and including jailbreaking. The checkra jailbreak is still compatible with the iPhone 6s, which is a humongous offering. So that's as of right now. Maybe by late 2020 or even mid 2020, these prices will fluctuate a little bit. Maybe the iPhone 7 will go down to $100 in the used market, so maybe we can go there. But for that $200 price tag as of now, I believe there are 2 phones that kind of fall under this specific category, and that is the iPhone 6s Plus or the iPhone 7. You can get a pretty decent model of both of these phones, about the mid-tier model in storage, for $200 for the 6s Plus and the iPhone 7. And there's a couple reasons as to why. So battery life, including the iPhone 7, is an upgrade from the 6s, but the 6s Plus will have the better battery life between the two. I will be dropping a full-on comparison between all these phones I'm talking about now between each other very soon throughout the year, so keep a lockdown on the channel so you don't miss that. But the battery life on the iPhone 6s Plus is very good for the phone. The iPhone 7 is also pretty good as well. The performance of both of these phones are very good. The iPhone 7 should technically be a little bit faster, but performance wise they're still very good performing phones for $200. Software support on the iPhone 7 is one of the main reasons why I would probably recommend that one over the iPhone 6s Plus. It's getting iOS 14 100% sure, and it might even get iOS 15, who knows, maybe it will, maybe it won't, I don't know. But at least it's getting another full version of OS that we know of right now, where the iPhone 6s Plus might not be able to get it and will only get those security updates, who knows. Also, the jailbreak for both of these phones are compatible with that checkra jailbreak, so these will always be able to be jailbroken. So for $200, you can get a very decent jailbreakable phone, which is a really rare thing to say nowadays. But if you asked me a year ago whether that was possible, I would be like, no way. But now we have that capability, which is really awesome. So for $200, I would probably recommend getting an iPhone 6s Plus or an iPhone 7. Now for that $300 price mark, there's another 2 phones that I would recommend, and these phones are the iPhone 7 Plus or the iPhone 8. Now, I think both of these phones, if you really look hard enough, you could probably get it for cheaper than $300, but to play it safe, I understand that everyone can, negotiate and everything like that, so I'm going to say that $300 for the 7 Plus or the iPhone 8. Now, both of these phones are kind of opposites of one another in a way. The iPhone 8 has a way smaller battery than the 7 Plus, but the battery life really isn't that bad on the iPhone 8. I've owned it since its release, and it really hasn't treated me that bad, which is a good thing. The iPhone 7 Plus though has, I think, the biggest battery on all the Plus series of devices, which is really good. The battery life on the 7 Plus is very good at any which way you look at it, and that's a huge highlight for that phone. However, with the iPhone 8, you do have an extra year of software support that we know of 100% over the 7 Plus. Maybe the 7 Plus will get an extra version of software, we really don't know yet. But if that is something important to you, the $300 iPhone 8 will probably end up doing you pretty good in terms of software and longevity. The performance of both of these phones are very close to one another. I would probably recommend the iPhone 7 Plus in terms of performance because it does have an extra gigabyte of RAM. The iPhone 8 has 2 gigabytes of RAM, the iPhone 7 Plus has 3, so that's a pretty big deal in the grand scheme of things. but temporarily it's probably not going to, make that big of a dent in terms of your decision. And also both these phones again are jailbreakable, which is really cool. So if you're into that, you have that capability. So those are the phones that I would recommend for that $300 price tag, would be the iPhone 7 Plus or the iPhone 8. Now to end it off, which phone should you buy for that $400 price tag? Well, first of all, you can buy almost all these other phones that I've already talked about, probably even combined if you really try hard enough. But in the used market, I would probably recommend either an iPhone 10 or an iPhone 10R for that $400 price tag. If you look really hard enough, you can probably find it for $400, even cheaper than that. And between both of those, you kind of have to figure out which one you like more. For the iPhone 10, it has that OLED display, it has that better build quality, it has Force Touch. It honestly has a lot going for it. Also, the iPhone 10 is jailbreakable with that check range jailbreak. The iPhone 10R is not jailbreakable currently as of me making this video with that check range jailbreak, but you are getting a technically faster phone. You're getting a bigger phone if you're into that, a better battery life, and overall a very good phone for that price tag. And it's newer, so it should be getting an extra software update as well. But as of right now, we really don't know. Maybe the iPhone 10 will last as long as the 10R. I've been saying it for a long time. I think it will, but who knows? But between both of those phones for $400, I'm saying either get an iPhone 10 or an iPhone 10R. I could probably throw in the iPhone 8 Plus in there too, but I think that's closer to $300 than it is to $400. But that's also an honorary mention. I think the iPhone 8 Plus is one of the best iPhones Apple ever made, and I'm glad they ended off the home button with such an amazing phone. Apparently the iPhone SE2 should be bringing that home button back. We really don't know yet, but that pretty much covers it, guys. If you want to pick up any of these phones, I'll leave links in the description below so you guys can get them from Amazon for the cheapest prices and help support the channel at the same time. But that is pretty much it. If you have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section as well. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those things are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.